Coin Boys, your average, everyday crypto, tech, and gaming bros. That's right, it's Andy, aka Producer. By the way, our producer BTW on Twitter, and sitting next to me is
Daniel Gutierrez at dgutierrez84 on Twitter. Say hello. And to my left,
I am Aaron, Crypto Sanity, aka Sanity Crypto on Twitter.
yes. So welcome to the video side of the Coin Boys podcast, which is I have to thank first of all because we are now powered in studio, Santa Monica Studios, by Mob Crush. So shout out to Mob Crush and thank you guys for having us in and letting us start the process of having a video show.
Yes.
I stole the bow from Sanity because
And we do have another coin boy that's joining us now on this show, and that's our engineer here at Mob Crush, Sam Proof.
That's right. Running the show.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Who actually, as you can see here, you have history because you were in Tim and Eric as Raz.
That's right. Yeah, second season, first episode.
so
Awesome.
Like how big was because it looked like there was a lot of green screen and all that stuff. Was it like just mostly in front of like a wall that you guys were shooting?
Oh yeah,
into?
it was just like half the stage was green screen. It was
Nice.
maybe a studio twice this size, and then like the entire corner.
It's
was
not that
green.
big for
It's not
non-visual
that
reference.
I
Yeah, I
know.
know. So.
I do have a question. Was everything actually planned? Because a lot of that looks like it was just kind of made up on the spot. Was it very detailed planned, or was it a lot of improv?
Do they have a writer's room, or do they all just get drunk and
as
write down
far
notes?
as the writing.
Yeah, when you
it
got there.
was a little loose, but yeah,
Okay.
it was pretty scripted out.
Nice.
Seems
Okay.
pretty off the cuff most
It's
of the time.
And that's
Yeah.
the best stuff. Always looks off the cuff.
I love those guys. So
No, yeah.
they've done a lot
They're
of
really good.
like what you saw with you on the Wave Runner and like the really bad quality like green screen is
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
what they kind of brought into everything.
Yeah, they
So-
perfected that, and they went to college right by where I grew up, so I think we have a lot of common influence of
All
like
right.
'80s, just terrible commercials.
Yes,
Oh, man.
that's
Tom
pretty much what it
Carvel.
is. It's
Yeah.
like a terrible commercial.
So the thing I was going to say about the jet ski is,
Yeah.
by the end of the day that I had been shooting stuff, they had that clip already like gone
Done?
through post.
Wow.
And I could see it, and I was like, oh, that's crazy.
That's funny.
Wow.
Super
They
efficient.
probably didn't have much of a budget for post, so they're like, we got to edit this today. Yeah.
Well, that's also their look, right? It
also
looks
it
like
is
it's
their
all
look.
sloppily thrown together.
Yeah.
You wonder how much time they do to curate to make it look really rough around the edges.
Yeah,
So-
well, Sam, thanks for joining us and helping us
course.
out,
Yes.
man. And I just want to let anyone new to the audience, we were an audio-only podcast, and we are available on iTunes. It's one of our biggest platforms. If you go over to iTunes, search Coin Boys. We're right there. We got a ton of episodes. Daniel seems to think we might have close to 80. I don't know.
I think we're closer to
Getting
100.
close.
But
I'd believe
to
it.
be honest, yeah.
Yeah, so check us out. And if you
I'll
can,
start
if you
numbering
like...
these bad boys.
Yeah, and if you like what you hear or you're a former fan that forgot to leave a review or stars, we really appreciate it. It really helps us and helps us grow. So appreciate that.
But there's also every other platform. Now we're going to be
Yeah.
streaming on YouTube. So if
We're
you
on-
guys aren't subscribed on YouTube, you could
true.
do that. You could. I'm not going to tell you to smash the like button. He
No
may.
more.
no
I'm
more
done.
smashing. I know. But yeah, like,
Gently
subscribe,
press it.
notification bells super helps us a lot on Mob Crush, the app on your phone.
Yep.
You could like us there, so you can see when we go live there. So yeah, we got a lot of platforms. So
You
share
can
the
see
love.
us everywhere.
And then our main, where you can see things happening, find links, is our Coin Boys podcast Twitter. We like to consider it one of our main social media hubs, and it's the same for
Totally.
IG as well. But let's get into a little bit of catching up before we get into our block news, which is our news segment, and we're going to be playing some games, talking about some games as well. I just want to start off real quick. Huge Marvel fan here, comics, MCU. We just finished Comic-Con this weekend, and Kevin Feige, Mr. MCU himself,
Yeah, the showrunner.
announced the timeline. And Sam, you have that?
Yep.
And obviously, it's full of amazing things from Doctor Strange and the multiverse of madness to WandaVision to Hawkeye to a Blade.
Yes,
movie?
well, just not on. It's not on that shot, I don't think. But the Blade, I don't think. That,
No, Blade will
is
be
on
a
the shot.
movie.
But that's going to be the start of Phase 5. But I'm excited because Mahershala Ali is an amazing actor.
I liked Snipes' Blade. The first one blew minds.
Of course.
But bringing it back, I'm all for that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
He's going to be attached to it in some form of
Oh.
fashion, apparently. Wesley
He's a
Snipes.
vampire. He's undying,
Well,
right?
you can do
You know
whatever
what
you
this,
want.
what this does is it makes the MCU vampires will be real, like in the MCU.
I'm
So
excited.
Pretty much.
Because they're already doing a Morbo one for
Oh,
Sony.
yeah.
Or Morbius. No, Morbius.
Morbius, yeah.
Morbius.
They are.
They're doing a Morbius one. So, and
That
that's
is-
Jared Leto. So we'll see how that one works out.
Ooh.
That's cool, but I'm just excited because it looks like the next Marvel movie is Black Widow, which will be in May of 2020. May 1st, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like the timeline as a fan. I needed to talk about it because it's pretty much, I talked about Evangelion like 2 weeks in a row here, so I'm done with that. Talking about my excitement for MCU. So I don't know how big fans I know, Daniel, you're pretty big. Are you much of a?
Oh, I'm super Marvel boy. It's the DC universe is pretty boring to me, and I
So
get.
for me,
See, I like DC
I'm more
too.
DC.
I like DC too.
I used to work for DC, so I have to.
I know the only
DC comics are great, right?
the only good DC hero is Batman to me. He's got skills and a lot of toys, which is great. But in every DC movie, it's like, oh god, we die. Oh wait, Superman, save us. Oh god, we're all gonna. Oh wait, Superman, save us. It's like Superman's
Until
too powerful.
Superman
He's
starts
boring.
taking you on.
That's-
But anyways,
That's true.
So Daniel, did you do like a million things like you did last week, or
no, because whenever I have my daughter, I only do 2 things, and that's it.
What did
But
you do?
one of those
Anything?
things was go to.
Yes.
Right. So can I say this? I totally forgot that you had that.
He
And-
forgot my daughter's first birthday
But
party.
Yeah,
you sent me
jerk.
like one text message, and I don't remember. And then he told me today, and I totally felt bad because I forgot.
No, it's totally fine.
But Erin's beautiful daughter had her first birthday, and she seemed to be very excited.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I didn't know this about my daughter.
Yeah.
Because your daughter is going through what my daughter did a year ago. We're 1 year apart, and so she was kind of looking at the cake a little confused, but.
Yeah.
But she wanted to eat. My daughter knew it right off the bat. So the second that
Really?
everybody's saying happy birthday, she started blowing for the candle. And we were like nowhere
She knew
near
that's
it.
how to get cake.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, my daughter's never really had frosting before, so she took a handful, put it in her mouth, when it.
Yeah, she spit it right out.
So I got a good video of that. So don't worry, I have gone to
Dude,
your last
I
2
totally-
birthday parties.
He told me you guys
but
were
it's okay.
saying, "Oh, Andy must be busy or something." Like, I don't know. I totally forgot. But
No,
you
it's all good.
you got to tell me in calendar because I think you texted me like once.
Oh, I did. I could. Well, it's like with
I'm really
people
bad at
with
that
kids.
stuff.
It's like, oh, party. It's social.
I
Be
know,
social
man.
with my
Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
Like that's the whole thing. But like baby's first birthdays and second birthdays are basically an excuse for adults to get together and get drunk anyway.
Right,
Yeah,
and I
which
don't have
we
any
did.
babies to bring.
You did a
so.
very good job
Yeah,
at that,
thanks.
sir.
Thanks,
I
it
thought I
was
was at a Mexican birthday party. I was really excited when I saw
Apparently,
it.
I did it wrong.
Wow.
Mexicans get kegs.
We do.
Or
But,
even,
but we'll
yeah.
get a lot. We can play the ice chest. We're good to go.
Before we get into everything, just want to let everyone know that we do what we're going to start to do is block news, which is I'll just let you Mob Crush people know that we talk about all general and try to keep it as current as possible news that has to deal with crypto, gaming, and of course technology. So we're going to go right into block news. And Daniel, one of the most known people in the crypto sphere, is
Yes.
Justin Sun. You want to tell some people who that is first before you go
Justin
into it?
Sun is the creator of a cryptocurrency called Tron, which
Not the movie.
not the movie, but
Basically
obviously
named
they're,
after
they're
the
named
movie,
after that
yeah.
movie. Yeah. So and he made a lot of money. There's a lot of people who are
insane
for
amount
and
of money.
against Tron. You got to really do your research whenever you're getting involved into any of this stuff. But the reason why we need to talk about him is because he won a lunch with Warren Buffett, who is
He bid
A lottery
a,
bid
a
or
lottery
something. A lot of
bid. It was
money.
like, oh, whoever bids this much, it was like 4.6 million to charity, I think
Yeah.
it was, or something. And then he won a dinner with Warren Buffett.
Yeah, and so now he has he gets to bring guests to this thing, and so
Yes.
Justin Sun is trying his best to make Warren Buffett a believer
Yeah.
in
Warren Buffett has
cryptocurrency.
called cryptocurrency rat poison.
Yes.
He has insulted it over and over, saying it's a waste of money. It should die.
Yeah.
He's I wouldn't say an eccentric billionaire. He's a billionaire, but he eats McDonald's. I'm like, what are you doing,
He eats
bro?
McDonald's every morning.
That's disgusting.
Insane.
Yeah.
I like. Well,
Anyway,
he's really old and he's alive, so I
That's
guess
true.
McDonald's is preserving him. But the thing is, for that, he got to bring in some people, and so he just announced one of the people that he's bringing in is a founder of something called eToro,
Oh yeah.
which is an
UK
exchange.
Exchange.
I don't
Or
know where it's
Europe-based.
based.
Yeah, I
out
think
of.
it's a Europe-based exchange.
But I don't know what they're trying to do, and I don't know why they're trying to convince an old man
Hold
on
on.
technology.
I remember his original tweet that he actually said, "I won the lottery and I'm going to bring some of the biggest minds in crypto." Except he brings this one.
The biggest
exchange.
minds in crypto all said no.
Oh, they all said no.
Yeah.
For the
Oh,
most part, yeah.
CZ
Oh.
is, the head of the largest exchange, Binance, in the world, is one called Binance, and he said, "Nope,
Yeah.
can't make it."
Because it's
I just
really,
think he knows better, honestly.
Why are you have to let it's a generational thing. The older the people are, the harder it is for them to be convinced into trying something new, especially so new and so crazy and out there in terms of an idea and an ideology.
Well, you have to get into the rabbit hole with crypto. Like when you really want to understand it, it takes a lot of time to really get educated in all the facets. It's like, how does the internet work? I'm not saying double click on the Chrome icon on your computer. Like learn exactly how the protocols work, what IP addresses are, how it relays you through where. Like learning all that, you're not just going to go, oh, I got it. So it's like you got to dig into different facets and how it works. And some of these older people, they know gold, they know stocks. They're not going to dive in and try to learn something which, you know, is prone to market manipulation, being smaller right now, and it's kind of like the Wild West, which means crazy profits.
I'm going to disagree with the ageism thing because Warren Buffett could have taken the time to like really learn about it. But I feel like, because listen, the guy, and I forgot his name, forgive me, that Bitcoin Jesus, we called him. He was in his 60s. There's no excuse if
Did they call Roger Ver Bitcoin Jesus?
They do call Roger Ver Bitcoin
but I'm talking
Jesus,
the
but
guy
there's
that
another one,
went in front of the government.
Oh.
Giancarlo in his 60s,
yes.
and he gave us he spoke about Bitcoin in such a positive light to the government.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think age is an excuse. It's just the excuse is Warren Buffett's rich as hell. He doesn't care. He chooses
true.
what to care for. It's
true.
a totally different thing for Warren Buffett. And he's known to do this. When there's a new technology or something, someone asks him a question about it. And there's times he's crapped on other technologies besides
true.
crypto. So
But here's the thing.
That's
I also
my
think,
point of
I also
view.
think he's late to the game because he just announced like last year that he's like, or within the past 2 years, he said, I don't think it's a good idea to invest in newspapers. I'm like, that's 2 years ago.
well,
2 years ago.
again, he's an old guy.
Well, he's not
Yeah.
wrong. He's a billionaire. He can do whatever he wants. Honestly,
do whatever
It's
he wants.
We could judge him all
He's
day.
very smart.
He goes
for
home to $1
his
billion
money,
and then
and
has
he
his
knows, and he can read charts. And he
McGriddle.
knows what to eventually do. But he's towards the end. We just got to let him. He's thank him for all his services because he's done great stuff. He's done a lot of really good positive things. There's no need to convince the guy.
If you want to check out, we had actually Tron on the show briefly. It's the Game Beats episode. We interviewed a gentleman named Roy that was one of the representatives for the gaming space, actually.
Yeah.
So you can check that out. It's the only time we've had Tron on the show.
Because really, Tron is as of right now, that's the only thing that I can think of that is of use is their gaming aspect.
They
Same thing
are
with
they are
Eos.
dipping into it. It's pretty
Well,
interesting.
and everybody
Yeah.
knows, a lot of people know about BitTorrent, that Tron actually bought
it.
BitTorrent. I think it was for
Yes.
$70 million. And I was like, why are you buying a platform where people put up stuff for free?
Yeah,
It's
and
illegal.
they're expecting people
And it's,
to
yeah, it's an
pay.
illegal activity,
borderline
and now there's
illegal
money
activity.
involved. And so I don't know how that's all going to turn out. But
If you look up the history of Justin Sun, he doesn't have a great history. It's filled with a lot of lies. It's filled with a lot of deceit. And like he just recently said, "We're giving out a Tesla," and then somebody won the Tesla, and he goes, "No, I'm not giving you a Tesla."
yeah,
he said, "No,
he
thank
ignored
you."
the one on the stream until he got basically shamed on Twitter. And he was like, all right, we'll give him a Tesla
I
anyway.
guess we'll give him one anyway.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot. He's got a shady past. I don't like what he's doing, but
He's a hype man more than I think he's a functional
yeah,
businessman.
I mean,
he's hyped.
he's smart.
hyped
He
really
knows what to
well.
do, but
he's hyped his way to hundreds of millions of dollars. So
Probably more.
good for him.
But let's move on. We have an article here that says Mark Nadal wants to build a new decentralized internet.
yes, so Mark Nadal is a young Silicon Valley guy, and he is kind of foreseeing the Big Brother aspect of the internet. That the whole net neutrality thing, that they're going to vote on the fact of how they can control our internet access and, throttle our speeds. There's all kinds of terrible things. If you guys paid attention to the net neutrality thing, that was a big deal, I think, just for our internet usage in general. So what he wanted to do is he doesn't want to see that we are controlled by Google, Amazon Web Services, all these big companies, Apple. They are allowing us to use their highways to get the information we want. But along the way, we give up all our information and our attention, and we get nothing for it. They monetize everything about us, where we are, what we look at, what we buy, all that stuff, and then they get to sell all that or they share it with each other. Now, Mark Nadal wants to have a decentralized internet that's basically powered by, we share a little bit of like hardware and bandwidth from my computer. And it also uses mesh network.
Is
that we
it
talked
mesh
about before.
networking? Okay.
Yeah, so that's the plan. And so everybody's going to basically give up a little bit of their computer to allow everybody to have access to this decentralized internet. So nobody can turn it off. You'd have to have a global EMP to basically turn it off. So therefore, we'll probably start paying for things, but very microtransactions, probably using crypto, because that's the whole world
makes
that is
sense.
there. But yeah, that's going to be like if you want to pay for some kind of premium thing that's out there, it's like, oh, you might get some stellar lumens and pay this, or some other tiny crypto.
I mean, there's a few other people besides Mark Nadal that's trying to do this.
It's been a
do this
conversation for a
concept.
while. Even the guy who created the World Wide Web, he basically invented the protocols for that. He's on board with this decentralized thing because he doesn't like the way the centralized internet
We
is
absolutely need to go decentralized
Yeah.
for our internet, for our anything technology. We can't have somebody controlling all of the information. I mean, Facebook is insanely powerful. Google, insanely powerful
Yeah.
because of all the information. Russia, just because they're Russia, insanely powerful because of what they do. I really feel like in order to make this work, it's just going to be a huge task of getting everybody on board, or at least a good majority of the people on board.
It's going to have to be adopted, and that's the thing: is big companies already have a well-established presence on the standard internet. So yeah, the adoption is going to be the hard part, but that's what they said. They're like, yeah, we understand that, but people should be very, very in with this, and they should be concerned about how much control our current internet is under. So
Yeah.
it's very centralized.
But if you and the good thing is if you decentralize it, you take away your monthly payment of paying whoever you're paying for your internet, and you just make it so that way you're spending just a little bit of money here and there, so it comes out to
Yeah.
be far cheaper than paying for your actual internet. But you get, I think, faster speeds. You get and it won't be taken out. You don't have to be under control of some other company
Yeah.
blocking whatever content that they could or potentially block or throttling your speed.
Yeah.
Which is
I
awful.
mean, not to play devil's advocate, but the
But you
problem
are.
is, the problem is that it's
good to hear the other side.
The adoption, like I'm totally for decentralized internet, but
Mm-hmm.
this internet, I've been on it since the early days, is
Mm-hmm.
so seated in just the history of what people think internet is. We already have an issue trying to decentralize crypto. I'm sorry, to decentralize crypto within crypto. There's companies that aren't decentralizing and doing cryptocurrency. So
Yeah.
good luck, Mark Nadell.
Well, yeah, he's got people
The
on
idea
board.
is great.
Anybody.
We'll
The only
see.
way this could work to me is
Mm-hmm.
if a country's like, the law says we're done with regular internet, you have to go on a decentralized internet. It would have to be like pushed.
Well, it's going to be the opposite. China is not going to want that. China controls their internet.
Of
They
course.
control all the content
They
that
try,
comes into their
they're
country.
trying, they're
I know they
trying.
try. People VPN or get around, but yeah, like there's
Also,
the adoption is going to be a hard part. I agree.
Yeah.
current internet, you have a choice to go on Facebook. You have a choice to join Twitter. You're joining a centralized platform on an open world internet. So just because you say, oh, they won't have a Facebook, but people are choosing. They
You
have
are
the
correct,
choice.
but they chose under false pretenses that they were under the false information that they were given. They thought that they were being protected. They thought that they were doing at the
Well,
time.
that's true,
at the
yes.
time it
And when
started.
you go to Facebook, Big Daddy Google or Big Daddy Amazon Web Services is collecting the data saying, oh, you go to Facebook 6 times a day. I'm going to sell that Facebook is still the most popular platform because you're visiting it.
Yeah.
So you're giving Facebook your information by logging on there. But just by getting on the internet and using any search engine or other web service, they're taking any other extra data from there. They're taking your location and your preferences and history.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we're so deep into this into the culture that you kind of get like, I trust nobody who has zero social media presence. I'm like, what are you hiding? It's legitimately and
Some
and-
homesteader in the forest.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
my friends, a lot of them female, do a lot of the dating apps, and if they can't find that guy anywhere on social media, most likely
Oh, yeah.
he's up to something shady or whatever. So you need to have some sort of presence for a lot of different reasons. But we need to also protect ourselves now.
Yeah.
Now that we understand what's happening, now that we know what's going on, because prior, again, to all this, we didn't know.
Right.
We did not know. So now that we
Alright.
do, we got to be careful.
Well, we'll keep you informed on the decentralized internet.
I
that's
don't know what's
happening.
happening
20 to
tomorrow.
25
20
years,
to
guys.
25 years.
Or in a couple decades.
So next article, we have the 190X is a crazy throwback game copying older game
I
styles.
think it's called 1980X. Yeah, it was
1980X, sorry.
It's a really cool concept of it, and it kind of for anybody that was around to play the games or even appreciates the games of the 80s. You follow this kid who's named Kid, and it's basically it's almost like a coming of age tale, but worked through video games and how the video games how it guides the story. So they're kind of abstract with how they're announcing it so far. But it looks gorgeous so far. So,
Cool.
but it's taken games like Streets of Rage, Outrunner, even R-Type, like side-scrolling shooter, like all these games. So you'll be Kid going up to these cabinets and starting to play, but then it's Kid inside the game playing a Streets of Rage style, but it's not Streets of Rage. It's him, and it's all pixel style, pixelized, pixel art, and it's playing very, very Streets of Rage style, but he is the main character, and it's all so it's.
Seems like fun.
It looks really great as far as it's going to be kind of like an emotional story, especially anybody who used games to kind of seek adventure or to get relief out of life or everything. It just seems like it's going to have some connection to those people and everything. So a little bit of like Ready Player One, but just kind of with the 80s and modern times now. So it's just looks super cool. Just something I'm really, really excited
Will
about.
this
that
be
one.
on the Decentralized Internet by Mark Nadal?
I hope so.
I think this will come out before the decentralized internet launches.
Just checking.
Eventually.
That's
Eventually.
cool. I'll have to check that out. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Is there like a new? Because so with movies, they're doing a lot of reboots. Movies and TV shows, they're doing a lot of reboots. Of
Almost
old
all
something.
movies are
Is this
reboots at
a
this
new,
point.
Is this a new thing that's happening with video games too? With
Well,
gaming.
I think it's more remakes. They're not like they're just like updating them. Like Final Fantasy VII's coming out. Well,
True.
I don't think it's like, hey, let's like redo this game. Like, what's the new one that's coming out about the aliens? That's a good example.
Which one?
The one we saw at E3. There's an old game. I'm
I'm
blanking. Aliens. They're.
Oh
coming
my
out
god, I
for-
forget it.
Not Cyberpunk 2077.
Destroy
No,
All
no, it's not
Humans?
that one.
Destroy All
Destroy All
Humans.
Humans. There it is.
Good example of just remaking a game and making it more modernized.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's the same as movies. I don't get that feel at all.
Well, no, I think what it is,
Or
it's this new
film.
love of retro again. That retro's becoming
Retro's
cool. I mean,
great.
it was on the last audio podcast we did before we, came full on video. You were talking about the It's Okay. It's a Bluetooth,
the
cassette,
Bluetooth cassette player.
which people are like, yeah, that's awesome. So I can listen to my old cassettes. And I'm like, the sound quality was
gonna be
trash.
awful.
So people want that though. It's like people love they're making games in the Metroidvania style again, which is becoming very popular. Hollow Knight was a great example. Yeah, there's just a bunch.
Bloodstained is super popular. This new
Oh, the new one
that's very
It's,
Metroidvanian.
it's supposed to be very much like Symphony of the Night.
Yeah,
I actually had
and I
a,
heard it's been great.
yeah.
See, I see it as gaming is very much an art form. You can have different art styles for everything, right? So it's just it can still be used as 1980X as this showing us here. You can use the old school style to tell a new story.
Yeah, which is why I think now it's relevant to grab people like that, because even people that weren't around in the 80s are going to appreciate, because like, oh, I play Outrunner and I collect all classic retro video games, and so they have a connection to that. So they're like, I feel what it's like to be a kid in the 80s, like, but if they
But
weren't around, that's
I
how
feel like you get some of those guys that will argue the only reason why we did it this way is because this was the best technology that we had. Do you not understand how phenomenal?
Yeah.
I'd rather have the updated graphics and all that other stuff. This was not the point of games.
Yeah,
Nobody said this is the best. Let's
it's
stop
a
here.
nostalgic reminiscence of, I think, one of the greatest birthings of video games. I mean, limitations are what made art so great. It's like what people could do with only 8 bits, with only 16 bits.
Well,
was pretty impressive.
Do you guys ever play Pole Position or
yeah.
Road Rash?
Yeah.
So they had limitations on how to show driving. So how you watch the road like recede, was a technology they created because they didn't have enough memory or whatever to really make sprites of roads. So they just created an effect.
Yeah.
Really, a lot of retro
Yeah, the
games.
car
are just,
doesn't move, and then
Right.
the world kind of pulls towards you and
Right.
slowly gets larger.
And that was
yeah.
they had to creatively think of a way to do that. And
So
that's
yeah,
a good
looking back,
example.
the limitations are what makes it so great. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about this game. I think you guys
Cool.
should check it out. 1980X. You can find the launch trailer. Yeah, super
Sweet.
excited.
All right, moving on to somewhat gaming oriented, or the police are using VR now to train. Daniel, you have a little bit more insight on that?
Well, this was actually
This was
Sanity.
actually
Sanity?
yeah,
Do
this
you have a
actually
little
was
more-
From, yeah, this was from May actually. But the more we're talking about technology and VR,
That's fine.
I'm still obsessed with. I think it's completely relevant because where I work for my regular job, I work for a Krav Maga facility, and we work with a lot of law enforcement. So we would watch active shooter videos to learn about training and stuff to teach the students better. But it's like if cops want to train for an active shooter school, they have to wait until the school's evacuated, then they can do their training there. What about at a mall? A mall's almost never evacuated, so maybe they do it after hours or before opening. Okay, what about at a warehouse? What about at a club? Hospitals, that happens there too. So instead of doing that, they've gotten location-based VR, so they have sensors all around, and they have a big warehouse, and they can all wear their headsets, and they'll be able
just
to
run-
Yeah, they basically run different simulations of what they can do of identifying. Oh, is this person running away? Oh, that person actually has a weapon. Because they're going in blind when they don't have information. They go into an active shooter situation, and if they don't train on it. Because actually some of the videos we saw were, they'd all rush in and they all kind of stopped because they didn't know where to go. They didn't have enough training to know exactly, all right, we need to start clearing all corners, we need to start clearing rooms in all that fashion. So this technology is now they're using VR to put in whatever situation they want, whatever location they want, and they can do team tactics together, which is pretty darn cool.
I'm all for that.
You know what it reminds me of? This is the early infancy of the Danger Room in X-Men.
I want it.
Yes.
Because
so
the
bad.
Danger Room in X-Men
Yeah.
was a place where these crazy mutants could fight and practice,
Whatever dangerous scenario possible.
And it was pretty much a hologram room. It was pretty much
Yeah.
like a VR room without a mask,
Yeah.
So
No,
it's smart for
cops-
authorities and firefighters.
Yeah,
and
cops, anything, especially police officers, because I do another show where I talk about local news, and
Wait,
I can't
you
tell
never
you.
told me that.
Listen, it's a surprise. But
cheating.
I have a special. I have an
Moonlighting.
aggregated
Just kidding.
Twitter feed that gives me a lot of local news, and I can't tell you how many times I've been reading where cops make mistakes, and unfortunately,
All the time.
for cops,
Friendly
when
fire,
you make a mistake,
misfires.
tough.
it's not good. It's really, really bad.
I
There
go to
are certain-
Subway. I have to decide between mustard and relish,
And that's
or
fine.
is mayo.
Heavy
That's
decisions.
one thing.
That's easy, but
but like when I mean,
life decision.
that's the problem is that, and there are certain jobs out there where you kind of need to have 100% or as really close to 100% of perfection as possible.
the more training, the better.
And the more training, the better. This will allow that for not just for active shooting scenarios. It's for a lot of things. Like there's a big thing about race going on right now, and there's a big thing about people with autism being confused for like. For
Being non-compliant
yeah,
and
being
stuff, yeah.
non-compliant and things like that. There's a lot of things that the cops, come up with as a surprise to them, and the more training, the more put into these scenarios they have, the better knowledge and in reaction that they have to this.
Yeah.
Which kind of brings us to
It makes total sense.
Yeah.
And then you said the GOG.com with Buzz Aldrin
Yeah,
stuff.
so this is an interesting gaming concept to me of job scenario, job simulation things.
Which
Apparently-
I love simulators, so
Yeah,
this is
simu-
kind of up my alley. I'm
And-
like obsessed with simulators.
and I think it's great because it's really it can really help bring in
So what is it
bring in
doing?
things.
Like,
so
yeah.
so this one
I didn't
for
know
the,
about this
for the
one,
Buzz Aldrin Space Program Manager. What this is doing
Okay.
Check it out.
is you're basically running a NASA. You're running a space program and
Oh.
you're learning how to do all of that stuff. And I think it's great. You know why? Because I just read another article about kids wanting to be more YouTubers instead of astronauts now.
Oh yeah, Chinese kids all want to be scientists, and American kids all want to be YouTubers.
Great.
Yes.
That's our angles right now.
As we talk to you on YouTube. But
Chase your
it's-
dreams, kids.
It's really nice because it'll give people that experience. Because I was just talking to my cousin yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and she does not know what she wants to do because she doesn't have the experience, and she's in college right now. She's in the first year of her.
I can relate to
college.
that.
And we all had that scenario where we didn't know what we were going to do, and we had to decide now. Like if I decided my life by the time I'm 21, I'd be screwed. Like it would be the worst decisions of my life.
Well,
I've
that was
ever
the
made.
thing back in the day. I turned 18, and my dad's like, "What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do? Decide now, or I'm going to kick you out of the house." And I'm like, "I don't."
Yeah,
know.
we don't know because like we'll say, well, I think I like this, but then you do it and you're like, oh man, I don't like.
So I
this.
changed majors 4 times in college.
Yeah. So I think these job simulation games like this, especially this Buzz Aldrin one, especially for in places where we need more and more people to come in and grow and work, I think it's great. I think it's a wonderful idea that can definitely save
Yeah, well-
ourselves in the future.
Well, that's also, I mean, aside from that, they're gamifying so many different things. There was another article I shared with you guys that, we won't get into it, of course, but they are turning actual science problems into a game. So all these people get on and start messing with it, and they happen to solve these science problems. It's like, if you gamify things, I mean, it's all about, we want to teach people through games, so it's edutainment. But of course, that didn't take all that well. People were like, but if they're just, gamifying actual real world things, it's apparently working.
Yeah,
and people are digging it.
There's a game, and I don't know the name of it, but you are basically you can create diseases and kind of go through and try to solve the problems to curing these diseases or creating other ones. It's pretty insane.
It's called Theme Hospital.
You know what it is?
No,
That's it?
that
No,
was
I'll say.
well. My point is that what's funny is that you guys are saying this is kind of new, but it's not.
It's not new. It's been around for a
There's
long
been
time.
plenty simulation games, simulation games.
Oh, the real ones, like
are-
Microsoft Flight Simulator was supposed to be.
Well, that's
almost
original.
99.99% accurate.
Now with like technology and gaming's popularity, it's introducing people that might not have been gamers be able to be an astronaut. It does invite people that aren't gamers to play these kind of things if they want to try it. But I, as you guys know, I mean, I'm a Chinese parent and Chinese parents. I'm a
still crack up at
I'm,
that game.
I'm a teleporting, time traveling grave digger in Graveyard Keeper. I'm a truck driver in Euro Simulator 2, where I drive a truck and earn a business. But I love that. I love the
What
feeling.
I'm saying is now I feel like now the technology has caught up to the point where it can literally teach you and really, really give you the skills that you need to go out into the real world.
That's
More
true.
so than in the past, because like we had education games when I was a kid. They were awful.
Except
They
for Mario
were
Teaches
awful.
Typing.
Well, that was good.
That was GOAT. Yeah.
But everything else was just like, oh man, this is so boring. I don't even want to touch this game.
Yeah.
Except for Oregon Trail. Let's
Cannot
not put
play
that down.
any more Carmen San Diego. Thank you.
We're done. I already know where she
But
is.
yeah, I mean, if you go to Steam or GOG, GOG, by the way, is GOG.com. Check it out. They actually have amazing PC retro games there available that maybe Steam doesn't. They also have new games available too. So it's pretty much like Steam, but more focused on the retro community and simulators and stuff. So I guess this is exclusive to GOG.
Yeah. This
Okay.
is
That's
exclusive
interesting.
GOG.
So check it out, GOG.com, and also check out some of their. If you like point and click adventures, some of the original point and click adventures can be found on GOG, and also simulators, like we just talked. But I mean, I feel like I would play this, so I'm actually gonna check it out. If I could run NASA, I'm all about it. I could be a parent, head of NASA.
If you could raise a Chinese kid,
Yeah.
you can run NASA.
Shout out to Tavern Tycoon, where you're literally a barkeep inside of an RPG video game and you run and own the
yeah.
bar, which is cool too. Simulation games must get more love. So thanks for bringing this to the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah.
They're really
So
definitely-
thanks, Buzz Aldrin. You're the best.
And the Apollo 11 50th anniversary
That's
just
true.
happened, and every
True.
time I think about it, I think about a flat earther that gets punched in the face by Buzz Aldrin. So
Yeah.
I hope you get to punch somebody in the
Did he
face.
punch someone for real?
Yeah,
Oh,
because the flat earther
He
came
was-
up to
yeah,
him.
he came up and he was like, "You're a phony and you're a fraud." He was
And Buzz
saying
Aldrin's
he
like-
never went to the moon, and old ass Buzz Aldrin was like, "Yeah!" Like, got
It
him.
was the greatest thing ever.
Oh.
But
Got like 40 years on the guy and just socked him in the
It was
face.
nice, and he took it,
Yeah.
and he did good.
Well, anyway, that wraps it up for our block news today. A lot of stuff. I feel like there's like a lot more news lately for especially
there's so
crypto
much going
too.
on.
Because there's a lot of things.
It's just
that we can
things are
I know,
happening.
and we're going to try to keep the crypto stuff not all full of lingo and insider knowledge. We want to share with you guys, at least try to educate you guys as well, because as we're going to talk about it all the time, crypto and gaming are going to come together.
Yes.
If any people have questions on either side of the pond here, thecoinboys.com. You can.
Yeah.
We are thecoinboys at thecoinboys.com. You can email us, and we'll
Or
happily
hit us
answer
up on
questions.
Twitter. I mean,
At
Coinboys
Podcast.
we're all pretty active on there. So you got any questions,
Let us
hit us
know.
up.
Yeah, so let's come out of that and do some fun stuff with what we're playing. What
Yes.
are you playing?
So I'm playing Dragon Quest Builders 2 that just
Cool.
came out for the Switch a little bit ago. So Dragon Quest Builders 1 was just basically it's built off of kind of a Minecraft whole style. It's the same thing: move individual blocks, build whatever you want. The thing is, this is a fully RPG'd where you can build whatever you want, but you won't progress in any form. It actually gives you missions like, oh, I've got to go out and I've got to find this certain recipe to be able to build this in here. Like, oh, we need to defend ourselves. We need a big tower with a turret on it. Okay, so you got to go find the blueprint or find the different materials for it. And then so it's fully RPG'd. And then after you beat the entire storyline, then it opens up to the open world where you can just go and have your Minecraft world. But it's also it's the what's his name? Toriyama, the designer of Dragon Ball Z. So it uses all the art of that
No
style.
way.
So yeah. So Akira Toriyama's style of art. If you play the other Dragon Quest games, some of the later ones, they all have that kind of look and feel to it and everything. So it's a very high graphical style of Minecraft with heavy RPG. And I had a blast with the first one. And I got the second one because I thought it was going to be multiplayer because they showed all these different characters on the cover. And I was like, yeah, this deserves to be multiplayer. And then I got it and I was like, oh, there's just a lot of characters. There's just a lot of mainline story characters. Because I told my friend, like, you got to get this when it comes out. And then it comes out and I'm like, you don't have to get it unless you want to play it by yourself because it's, you'll be playing alone. So,
Well,
but I'm having a
Right
blast
on.
with it so far. It's,
What's-
pretty
as
cool.
like a retro guy, I never really got into Dragon Quest. And surprisingly,
Did you play Dragon Warrior on the old NES,
Yes,
right?
yes, but I wasn't like I don't know. Everyone is obsessed with the Dragon Quest series, and I know that they're updating it. And
it's kind of like one group of people went Final Fantasy, and the other group of people. It's in Japan that was the thing. It's like, oh, I love Dragon Quest and the little slime and King Slime,
Sure,
and it has
sure.
all the the cutesy characters that they loved and everything, monsters. And then there's the Final Fantasy crowd, but then there's the Americans that love all JRPGs. So they'll play it all. But you're right. I was way more of a Final Fantasy guy than I was
Yeah.
a Dragon Quest guy.
That's cool though. I
But,
never even
yeah.
heard of this game, to be honest with you. Like,
It's only Switch. It's Switch
oh,
exclusive.
it's on the
Okay.
Switch.
Yeah,
This is
so-
the one they announced a while ago. We're gonna have Dragon Quest on the Switch. So this is the game.
This is the one.
technically.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
that
the
makes
other
sense.
ones were all like 90 to 150 hours worth of RPG, just questing and
Cool.
going through the world and all the normal stuff, all the normal grind.
Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go back. I'm gonna back up a little bit and go retro. Can you guys? I know the second camera shows it a little closer, but that's Legendary Axe 2. That's an actual casing of a TurboGrafx game called Legendary Axe 2. It's a side-scrolling platform. But back in the day, if you want to show them, this is a Hue card, and the TurboGrafx and
man.
PC Engine used a Hue card. And I just wanted people to realize that this was a thing, and it was awesome.
When you took me to Game Dude to go get this, I had no clue that this was the actual.
That's what
way that they were-
TurboGrafx and PC Engine. Now they did come out with PC Engine Turbo CD, but yeah, Hue cards were awesome. And for the time it came out, it was actually the system itself was a little bit superior to the current systems at the time.
Yeah.
And I
As far as
loved
the
it.
16-bit like
Yeah.
design, like it was just
The
smoother.
colors were popping more. It was smoother, more vibrant, and people.
but it was still the underdog. Oddly
Well,
enough, I think as far as longevity
in
went
Japan,
too.
PC Engine was huge.
Yeah.
In America, TurboGrafx 16 did its best to compete, but it really couldn't hold
Super
up.
Nintendo was king.
It
you
didn't,
know.
but I had one and it was awesome. Just throwing in the Hue card.
Yeah, I had the neighbor down the street. They were like, "I'll let you borrow my Genesis if I can borrow your TurboGrafx," and we'd switch for like a couple weeks.
Oh
and
my
stuff
gosh,
like that.
I don't know if I would be able to trust any of my neighbors with that. I would be like,
But just
80s,
keep in
90s.
mind,
Yeah, man.
if you want to try it out, it is. If you want to have the actual, it's not cheap. This game.
Yeah, retro. I'm trying to get
yeah.
my collection back from after selling and trading away all my stuff as a kid, and I'm like, you're
shouldn't
paying
have
like
gotten
full
rid of it.
price like now that you did in
there's
1989.
no way that I'm certain that this game cost more now than it did when it came
Absolutely.
out.
I think so
I'm
because
like, are
games
you
now are
kidding me?
$60. Games back then were like $40.
Yeah.
You know, at Toys R Us, your NES game or whatever.
He was showing me. I was looking at the list. Game Dude has these lists of all the retro games that they have available for
and the
everybody.
values.
And the value and how much it costs. I'm like going, whoa! Some of this costs what an entire console costs right now. I'm just like, this is insane.
Yeah, but listen, that's one side of it. There's also the other side where there are games that are really cheap, like Tetris on the Game Boy's like $4. Like all
Oh,
the,
yeah.
there are
You can
important
stack
ones.
up a retro library.
But don't forget, this
reasonably.
is TurboGrafx. That's rare. That anyone you didn't even know what a Hue card was.
I had no clue.
So,
I was like,
so
this is the game. You're gonna break this.
no.
Oh, man.
Get something more sturdy.
But
Get rid of the cartridges.
it's a great game, and I really enjoy it. I was a huge like side-scrolling fan back then, and it's a little bit more advanced and really cool for the time.
The thing about retro games, though, it's like when you bought a game, there was no guarantee you're beating that game. Like
No.
most of the games you
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
beat.
You didn't, like,
now
no.
any game you play, you could set on easiest or whatever, and you're gonna beat it. You put in enough time, you'll beat it. You know, or there's no penalty for death. Like you put in like 4 hours, and then it's like die, go back 2 hours. You're like, oh.
Well,
But
yeah.
that's cool, man. I'm glad you got that for yourself. For
Memory
your
cards
birthday.
changed.
And
the game.
actually, I want to play something on the Retro Freak next week. I'm gonna figure out what
bring it
that
on
is.
through.
Well, I wanted to
Check it
show
out.
everyone what that is.
It
It's
does an
kinda-
HDMI out.
It does.
Oh, that's
sir.
cool. Yeah, it's
Oh,
just like usually they have these. There's a few companies that do it. Have this box that you could basically put in NES cartridge, SNES cartridge, a Genesis one,
pretty much
a card for the TurboGrafx 16. It has Game Boy Advance and Game Boy regular. It's like these are crazy.
Well, Retro Freak is Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, NES, Super NES, Mega Drive, which is Genesis in Europe or Japan, Genesis, PC Engine, or
that's a good one.
TurboGrafx
yeah, that's
16.
got all the hot ones.
Game Boy, Game Boy Advance. I'm talking original Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance games, most Game Boy cartridge games. And I think that's about it. You know, obviously it doesn't do like 64, it doesn't do CD games, obviously, but that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a good amount. But Daniel, you're kind of been into gaming. What are you playing?
yeah, we're making
I
him
got
play every
for
week
free-
now.
I got for free Borderlands the pre-sequel,
Oh yeah, Borderlands is one of my favorite.
and
franchises.
I
I'm super
was
excited for 3.
yeah, I was dying of laughter.
Oh,
that was
such good
so
comedy.
funny.
Claptrap is
was so-
hilarious.
yeah.
Handsome Jack is
So
an
what are
a-hole.
your like initial impressions?
So
playing a
first
game
off,
like
I
that?
love this style of game because one of the things that I don't that kind of throws me off about the higher end HD games where you're trying to recreate real people, you still feel like something's a little bit off. The emotions, the
Whether
facial
the
structures,
mouths
things
move weird or whatever.
So
yeah.
I say just since it's not the technology's not there yet, Borderlands does it right. They make it very comical. It's like a comic book.
comic cell shaded, like thick
Yeah.
borders, cartoony style. crazy
It's
mayhem.
They always used to
Yeah.
say back in the day when Destiny came out, it was kind of like Destiny took a little bit from Borderlands a little bit with the loot process and how it works.
Oh yeah.
but-
I mean,
Yeah.
they've literally over all the span of every Borderlands game, they said they have over 1 billion different weapons.
It's insane. There's a lot of stuff that you have to do. I like it. I've only played with one character, and I'm forgetting her name, but I think it's Nash or something like that. She's really she's awesome. But I had a choice between 5 or 6 characters, and the way the story is being presented to me, I'm wondering if I choose a different character, I get a different aspect of the story.
You'll get commentary from them throughout the story, but
Okay.
the overall story arc is going to stay the same.
Okay. Okay.
And you're playing on PC, right?
I'm playing PS4.
Oh, PS4. Damn, I wish I had that. Because one of the greatest things about Borderlands is getting on with like your friends, and then you get these bosses that are just monstrous. And Borderlands 2 is still my absolute favorite. I'm hoping 3 knocks it out of the park. But starting with the pre-sequel is a good idea because you're literally going in the canon order
Yeah.
that way. So
And yeah, I'm not very good at first-person shooters, but I'm actually becoming better and better as I keep on going.
and this one works you into it.
This
It
one
starts you off with a little bit of education, teaches you the world, and lets you kind of get good before it starts throwing hordes at you.
Yeah, and I keep on setting it to super easy, and I keep on forgetting that I set it to super easy. So I'm like going, hang on, this isn't just as easy as me walking up that way, right? I have
Yeah.
to like find another entrance, and I have to find this other. But it's pretty fun. Take me through the story. I enjoy it. I enjoy listening to the characters. It gives me the feel of I'm playing. It gives me the feel of Spaceballs.
I can see that. Yeah,
It's a bit of a stretch, but it gives me that feel of like we're playing Spaceball. I'm playing in Spaceballs, and you just hear people's lives just going, screw it, let's just go.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of Star Tours as
great
well.
writing too. So it's-
Because it's
Star
just things
Tours,
go
like
wrong. The game, the ride,
The
Star
ride?
Tours,
What
yeah.
a great ride.
Because
Yeah.
It's still around.
yeah, because there's
I
things
think
keep
they
on going
redid
wrong.
it.
No, they revamped it. So there's
Yeah.
a little bit more, but
Star
but it's
Tours.
great.
Holy crap.
Yeah, things just go
Mind-blowing.
wrong, and the robots make mistakes, and it's funny when robots make mistakes. I just love it.
Well, cool. Sam, are you playing anything? Board
Yeah, let's
games,
see.
whatever.
My kids and I just played Lego Lava Dragon. Recommended ages 4 to 6. So
Oh man,
All right.
that-
I did
wait.
not win.
sounds edgy.
What is that on a console or something?
No, it's a 3-dimensional Lego board game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you build this sort of mountain. It has these little lava things, and you get one of the little minifigs, and you have to race to the top. The best part of the mechanic is you build the dice as well. So it
Oh.
starts as a blank die, and every time you take a turn, you put on a chit. So you roll it,
Oh.
and if there's a blank pip available, you put on a chit that represents your color. So if I roll a die, and like you've already got a chit on there, you also get to move that turn.
Oh, nice.
So it's cool.
Man, there's some layers to that. 4
Yeah.
to 6. That's
Yeah,
mathematics. And
I don't know if I could
creativity
play
and-
that, but good on your kids, man.
Yeah, it's
That's pretty
I mean,
neat.
for
I'll
what
have
it
to
is,
check
it's
that
pretty
out.
fun. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, cool. We all know what we're playing.
Yeah.
But we do want to play a game. This is called Coin Boys Play.
So we have a friend on Twitter who's big in retro gaming. His name is Retro Game Brews.
Shout out.
Shout out to him. Yes, what he does RGB high scores. So he picks a retro game and says, all right, I'm going to get this many teams, and this is going to be the competition. And when people win, he's like, cool, I'm going to send you one SNES game, one Mega Drive game, and one old NES game. So people that win get retro games.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
It is
That's
pretty
fun.
cool. So I saw him pick this one, which was one from my past that we remembered. And it
Which
was,
we're going to do
we're-
the tournament or whatever.
we're gonna do the tournament, so that's why I was like, man, I gotta pick it back up. It's been so long, and it's Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yeah.
So people that had it either on Genesis or Super Nintendo, a lot of people remember it. It was pretty popular. It's crazy. I mean, you'll see it in a second, but you run
Pick up
around
that
and you try to
control.
save your
Let's do
neighbors and
Show
as-
them.
as soon as the
I have the
zombies
right.
pop up.
I have the right controller, right?
Yes, you
Yeah,
do.
so
making sure.
Daniel today is going to play with
This is actually one that I did play growing
Cool.
up as a kid.
So let's
So-
play. What?
It's been a little while.
So yeah, I'm the kid with the 3D glasses, the 80s 3D glasses,
Okay.
and you'll be the chick neighbor. So rescue the neighbors.
Now, would Warren Buffett play this?
Probably. I think
Okay.
he was a spry 50 years old when this came
Got
out.
it. Okay, so just tell us quickly for people that might not know.
You have to
So-
collect the neighbors.
So
you
the
have to-
neighbors are humans.
You
All
gotta
the humans.
save the humans,
Yeah,
right?
so you get more points for
All right, save
like
'em.
cute babies and
Save those
and
humans.
the neighbors.
the cheerleader you get like the most points for because it's the cheerleader.
You gotta save the cheerleader.
Yeah. definitely gotta say the
It
cheerleader.
was. It is an overwhelmingly popular retro game still.
But I mean, this was like some of that just like crazy style. Yeah.
It was
So they-
such a cool style too.
So they only go after the humans once the humans are on the screen, and we can't go split screen. So it's like, ooh. So
That's
they-
the one thing that.
Yeah, I know. Well, this was also split screen wasn't necessarily a
that's true.
thing with all games. Oh, 500 for the
Doggies.
dog. Oh, get that cheerleader. Oh, we
Cheerleaders.
got dual cheerleader.
I love how these neighbors are just, cheerleaders are
get
just
in.
I
hanging
know.
out in front of a
Yeah,
building.
you don't have a key.
Oh, we need a key. Okay.
Oh, you guys
Yeah.
are locked. You guys are locked.
All right, we gotta go. Oh, and this,
Who's who?
I'm the girl.
Oh, okay.
all right. So you see that dot on there? We're getting closer, and yes.
To a
okay.
kid.
So this is the
Alright.
kid, but we need a key.
You need to get
What
that
are we
key.
shooting him with?
Oh, I had a key. Ha. So we have a machine gun.
Now you can exit.
Oh man.
So it's like a
seriously?
little. It looks like an Uzi up in the top of the screen there.
No, but like what? It's not bullets, right? It's like.
Well, remember when
looks
Super
like holy water.
Super Nintendo wouldn't let Mortal Kombat have blood.
Well,
remember that?
Basically,
Remember?
a lot
well, there
of
was a blood code.
anything that
though.
kids
There was a blood
kids came
code.
up, you can do it. Like if you watch Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze,
Yeah.
they never use their weapons. They always use like sausages and yo-yos and all that stuff because at the time you just
Kinda
didn't want the
depressing
kids
me.
to watch it.
All right, so
We're saving the army.
let's
Oh,
see
get
how
that
good you guys
rocket
can do
launcher.
here.
Get
We'll
the
call-
rocket launcher there because you can.
We're gonna
blast
call it
holes.
after this level, but we'll
Yes.
see.
See if we can get it.
Nope,
Get me
nope,
off.
nope.
Oh man.
And this came out at a time where zombie, the whole zombie
Genre.
wasn't as high in its high points.
You know
really.
what? But I remember.
Was
there-
Dawn of the Dead?
I remember it was kind of like
Zack
Yeah.
Snyder's
you
Dawn of the Dead. Remember?
Those were all around that time. Okay, so you see
You had
this
like-
wall up here, this bush up
You
here.
had like
is, a little bit
Castlevania and
different.
all this other stuff that did all these
Where is it? How do I change? Okay.
Rising Dead stuff.
So now I just use my rocket launcher to blast through. So you see weakened parts of walls and stuff, you can blast through.
Okay,
Boom.
how do I
So-
change to the rocket launcher?
You gotta hit B. We'll change from I got my soda cans, I got my machine gun, and I got my rocket launcher.
Nice.
All right.
Bring it on! Ah, get it off me! Get it off me!
All right. All right. Now we gotta come down here.
down.
And I was gonna say open up the trash cans. 'Cause that's where keys are hiding sometimes and everything, but that didn't go all that well.
Coming up and around.
All right. So we gotta find.
We have a map, right?
Oh yeah.
Find
There we
pictures.
are.
There it
Okay.
is.
Cool. Good call.
Well, it looks
Oh,
like Aaron's almost at.
we lost our 100% right
Aaron's
there.
almost at 10K.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. There we go. Because it says there's a baby in here. We saved the baby.
So
Oh,
what?
they
What
didn't-
is the highest
the
level
potion?
neighbor? Do you know that gives you the most points?
This is
The cheerleader.
It is the
Yeah,
cheerleader?
cheerleader is like the most.
Yeah.
Like even the dog only gives you 500. And it's like, no,
Save the cheerleader, save the world.
You
Save
think
the-
you want to save the baby, you get more points.
Yeah, you would think, right? But
Yeah, but they don't care about
Save the
babies.
cheerleader. How 90s of it.
Oh,
The
here
poor
we
kid
go.
on the trampoline.
Oh, see, the kid on the trampoline can't get eaten though. So kid on trampoline is safe.
That's true.
fine.
But you get the points.
Yeah, exactly. And
It had a very
got
Toe
it.
Jam and Earl style to it.
all right.
All right, well,
done,
there's,
Daniel. You haven't played that since probably
was cool.
What 1991?
We haven't
or
seen that in a
1990?
while.
Kid,
This
man.
came in? I know we lost 2 neighbors, unfortunately. But this is what we're practicing up, so we're going to compete.
Yes,
I think he's-
I'm excited to play. It's
I think
been a
he's
while
having
for
7
me.
teams total.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a shout out to him at Retro Game Brews on Twitter. He's a cool guy to follow. Fun stuff.
Great guy.
Yeah, really good dude. So
But yeah, so
save the army guy, bro.
So
I did it.
as Daniel still
Why not?
plays Zombies Ate Your Neighbor, I want to thank everyone that's joined us today. But I want to first remind everyone that you can check us out at thecoinboys.com, and our Twitter handle and our IG handle is the Coinboys Podcast. But let's not forget our personal handles. I'm Andy, and you can find me on Twitter at ProducerBTW.
I'm Daniel at DGutierrez84.
And I am Aaron, and sometimes they'll refer to me as Sanity, as that is my online persona. Crypto Sanity at Sanity Crypto on Twitter. And Mr. Sam, how about you, sir?
Where you at?
I'm Sam Proof on all the platforms.
Nice.
He's fully doxxed, y'all.
And remember, check out our iTunes because
Yes.
we love to get our reviews and stars there. Also,
It
check
helps us
out
out a lot.
Check out a lot of our older episodes. If you're curious about crypto, we got a
Yeah,
ton.
there's a lot of good education in there. You can just dig back and kind of find a topic, and it's a good introduction. There
Yeah.
was definitely education you guys focused on back in the day.
Yeah, but I got nothing else. So until next week, we're the
Yeah.
Coin Boys.
See ya.
Catch you next time, guys.
Peace.
See ya. Thanks, Sam.